Hi, everybody. My name is John Rigney, and I'm a volunteer with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I'm also a participant with the upcoming Big Climb event that's happening on May 6th in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. As a matter of fact, my whole family will be participating on May the 6th. And like many of you, I'm raising funds for the LLS. So the LLS staff reached out to me and asked if I could make a quick video for you guys to kind of give you a perspective of somebody who is not an LLS staff member, somebody who's kind of been on the front lines of fundraising and done a lot of fundraising over the years. When I started with the LLS 13 years ago, I wanted to run a marathon, and I joined up with the team and training program for the LLS. I have my jersey on as I'm speaking to you. And I simply wanted to run a marathon, and I needed to be held accountable for training. And I traded fundraising for training. I wasn't a runner to start with, and I wasn't a fundraiser. And I ended up being one of the highest fundraisers for the local Delaware team at the time at the Walt Disney World Marathon, the 2011 Walt Disney World Marathon to be exact. And it was great. And I was hooked on running and fundraising. So I've been a volunteer for the LLS ever since, raising tons of money all over the place. So as I said, the LLS staff wanted me to reach out to you with some tips and tricks from an everyday fundraiser. And the staff can tell you the best way to raise money. And a lot of things I'm going to tell you are the things that the staff has probably already reiterated to you. But when you hear it from somebody else that's actually done it and raised literally thousands of dollars over the years, using these same techniques, the impact is a little different. So I have 10 things I want to talk about, and I'll go through them in order. Okay, so number one thing that you have to do when you start the fundraise is to know your why. Why are you participating in this event? Is it because you want to support the LLS, because you are running in honor or memory of a family member, a loved one, or yourself, to find a cure for blood cancers? That's what many of us are here for. Is it the challenge of the climb itself that you're participating in? And that's okay if you're just here for the challenge, because we're raising money to go to a good cause. And, knowing your why is one of the most important things, because then you can tell people why you're participating, why it's important. Because if it's not important to you, it's not going to be important to anyone else. So just be able to reiterate why you're doing the event, because people are going to ask you, why would you do something like that? Why do you want to go climb all those steps at Lincoln Financial Field? Well, it's because it's for a great cause. And, the LLS staff members can give you some background information on blood cancer and the things that the LLS has supported over the years. A lot of facts and figures that I'm not going to go into in this video, but just reach out if you need more information about the LLS organization, or what we're doing here. But that's the most important thing, is to know why you are participating in this event. Number two is to ask. And it sounds like a really dumb number two, but it is one of the most important things you do. Just to ask people to support you. Once you know your why, and you can reiterate to people why you're participating in the event, then you can ask. You can ask in person, via email, use snail mail, letters, mailed through the post office. I have a great tip for that in a second. I'll go over. Post to social media, and talk to people face to face. That just tell them why you're participating in the event, what you're doing, and just ask for a donation. The worst they're going to say is, no, I can't do that right now. And you know what? If you get a no, that's okay. Just ask the next person. You're probably going to get more no's than yeses, but you'll be surprised where some of the yeses and the support comes from when you do ask for people. If you do use snail mail or the post office, one of my best tips for getting people to notice your letter in a stack of bills is to send it in a brightly colored envelope. Get something that's bright yellow, red, purple, something that just stands out from the regular mail, because people are going to be curious and they're going to open it, because how many purple letters do you get? And purple envelopes do you get? It's usually a card or something like that. So it's probably something that you want to read or see. So just think about that mentality, and how to get people to open that. And once they open it, use things like you can put your link down there. But one of the great things to do is to create a QR code. Just if you're not sure what those are, they're like it looks like the little staticky little box that you scan with your phone camera, and it'll take you directly to the link. So instead of remembering the long LLS link, you go to just Google a free QR code generator, and there's lots of them out there. There's many of them for free, and you create this little box, and you could have it on your phone. So if you're talking to somebody face to face and you say, hey, here's my link, and just scan it and make a donation, people will do that. You can put that link printed out on a piece of paper, send it in emails, just make it easy for people to donate. Any way that you do that, and again, that's free. It's great to have there because you'll never remember the long link, and neither will anybody else. So QR codes are a great thing to do with that when you ask. So again, just reiterate, ask people to donate, and you never know where the donations are going to come from. So, and if you don't ask, it's always no. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is, who do you ask? And again, you can ask anybody, but just start a list. To start with family, friends, coworkers, people at school, your kids' school, sports. Are you involved in sports? Are your kids involved in sports? Are you talking to people, on the sidelines for baseball practice? Things like that. Church is a great place to make connections for getting support. And then, just your business network. So, is there people that you connect with over the course of your business, or, you have a tangential relationship with, may not be an everyday relationship with, I think your doctors or nurses, or your dentist, or your garbage man, or, the guy at your postman, just think about all those connections that you have. And again, as I said in tip number 2, ask, because if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And if you do ask, you'll be surprised how many yeses you get. And you get to build up a little bit of a thick skin when people say, well, not right now, or things like that. You'll be like, okay, yeah, this is cool. But just keep them in the loop, and let them know what you're doing. And, maybe that support will come around later. Tip number 4. So I mentioned before about your link and using a QR code. But once you get people to your page, you want them obviously to donate. But did you know that your page is fully customizable? You can use it as like a blog, or to advertise what you're doing or why you're doing it. So this is a great place to write down your why. Just write it down and say, I'm doing this because, honoring a friend or family member who went through a blood cancer diagnosis. I'm doing this as a personal challenge to myself. Write down your why there. You again go to use the LLS facts. You can find them on the internet, or reach out to a staff member. They'll be happy to provide those to you. Use pictures, a video of yourself training, and talk to it. Like I said, you can constantly update it like a blog post, and people can see the progression as you train or as you fundraise. And you can use a little advertising thing to say, hey, my goal is $5,000, and can you help me get there? So utilize that page, because once you get people there to donate, again, you can sell them again, and then they can see that message and see what you're doing, and keep updated there, especially if they're not on social media, or you know how social media algorithms go. Sometimes it doesn't always come up, but you can always tell people to go to your page to see the latest update. So that's a great thing with the LLS, the great technology to use these pages that are fully customizable. And I 100% endorse updating and putting information there, and pictures and things along, so people can follow along. Because if they go there for an update, maybe they'll donate as well. Okay, tip number 5, ask again. So you asked the first time, and you maybe got a no, or maybe you got a donation from somebody, or maybe you haven't heard from some people. it doesn't hurt to follow up. It doesn't hurt to send another email. It doesn't hurt to post again on social media. Matter of fact, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, with TikTok, whatever app you're using for your social media, just keep pushing it, keep putting it out there. That social media is a feed driven service, and if you keep putting your link out there and keep telling people what you're doing, that is just a way to keep it fresh in their mind. You can ask once. Somebody may have seen your ask or seen your letter, and they say, oh yeah, I'll get around to giving them a donation when I get a chance. And and here we are 3 weeks later, and they haven't given you a donation yet. But just that reminder there to say, hey, you know what, remember what I'm doing. You give an update on your training, update on your fundraising, to say, hey, this is my goal, or I revise my goal. It's just a great to reconnect with her. And again, if you're using social media, Facebook, etc., it doesn't hurt to post a number of times. People may tune you out, but again, those are the people that probably aren't your supporters anyway. So, but it doesn't hurt to put that out there over and over again. So again, ask again. That's one of the most important things, to follow up on your asks. So asking again and following up on your leads that you had to begin with. So I'll be back with tip number 6. Tip number 6. This is a great one. This is utilize the company match. So does your employer match charitable donations? Many large employers have a program where they will match a gift of a certain amount. So if you donate, let's say $25 or more, the company will match that dollar for dollar up to a certain amount. So if, for example, my company, we have a matching gifts program, and we can match up to $2,500 per year for any charity that I give to. And that's a great way to double your donation and double the impact of your donation without making a separate donation yourself. When you get donations from other people and you follow up via email, or when you send your thank you letter, let them know that, remind them to check with their company to see if they match. That's awesome when, you get a $50 donation from a friend or family member, and, all they got to do is go click a couple mouse buttons and apply for the match. And here's an extra $50 in your fundraising account that, doesn't cost you anything and doesn't cost your supporter anything, and basically the double impact of their donation to you. So it's the easiest way to double the impact. And again, it's just a matter of asking and reminding people to check with their employers and see if there's programs, if they have those programs in place. But that's a great fundraising tool to have in your back pocket. So make sure you ask about employee matching programs at workplaces. Okay, tip number 7. So you've asked and you've followed up. So now here's the chance for you to do something different. This is where you can set up a small event or a challenge. Our timeline's kind of short here for the big climb to do like a large scale event, like a beef and beer, or something that takes a lot of time and legwork. But you can do simple events like bake sales. You can bake goods if you're a baker or know somebody that is, and you can take those baked goods into work and sell those for for a donation. You can sell your skills, as if you're not a baker, maybe you are, you have a skill at crafts. So you are, and you can knit objects, you can sew, you can, maybe you have a professional service, whether it's, thinking a skill like, a plumber, a handyman, things like that. That's something you could do. Say I can do like small jobs or, small activities in my off time for a donation. Just think of things like that. You could sell things on the internet. There's a lot of places that you could sell. They come to mind is eBay. And if you don't know how to do eBay, you can always sell things on Facebook Marketplace. things that you don't need around your house that are taking up space. And, maybe you have a piece of furniture that's just cluttering up the area, and you say, hey, I'll take a donation. Somebody donate for, $50 for this dresser that I need to get rid of, or, sell some old kids' clothes, or, whatever you have. Yeah, do things like that. You can also do a giveaway or a block pool. If you're, a giveaway would be something like a raffle. If you had, if you were able to come across some gift cards or things like that, you could say, hey, for the next donations that I get, next $500 in donations that I get, or the, I will give you put you in a drawing for a $25 or $50 gift card to a restaurant, a store, things like that. So just think about how you can utilize those things to set up. I mentioned a block pool for a sporting event. As I record this, the NCAA tournament is in its second week, Sweet 16, I think. So you have a couple weeks, and maybe you could set up a block pool to, you think about it, it's like a 10 by 10 grid, and you sell each block. And, if somebody wins, the numbers correspond at the end of the quarter. If it's like 39 to 48, you take the 9 and the 8, and you see where the box lines up. And then that person's the winner, and they win a portion of money, and you do a 50-50 and split it with the charity. Those always work great, and work great on social media. And there's sites that you can either handwrite a block pool, or there's sites, if you Google free block pool sites, there's a number of them out there that on the internet that can track that for you, and then you can share with people. But those small events work great. And I'll come right back and tell you about an event that I did in conjunction with a larger event that worked really well for me. Okay, so one of the ideas that I had a couple years ago was to do a hot dog eating challenge. And again, I'm not advocating this works for everybody, but it worked for me, and it worked for one of my teammates and team in training as well. And we raised a lot of money for the LLS the past couple of years by eating hot dogs. And what we would do is we would ask people to donate $20 or $25, and for every $20 or $25 we got, we would eat a hot dog. But we would do it on camera. So, and then we would, if somebody would pay extra, they could choose the toppings on the hot dog. And then I got really creative and started doing a wheel of hot dogs where I would spin the wheel, and whatever came up, I would eat whatever hot dog was on the list. And then I had a separate wheel of condiments where I had like 100 different condiments that I could put on a hot dog, and some of them were normal, like ketchup, mustard, and relish, and onions, and then some was like weird, like cream cheese, and fruits and pineapples and peanut butter and jelly, all kinds of crazy stuff with the hot dogs. But that went over really, really well. And I've raised a couple $1,000s with this hot dog eating event that is all done from my house online. I post videos of me with the hot dogs, making hot dogs, showing the hot dogs, eating some of the hot dogs, and then I post those to Facebook or Instagram and things like that, so people can follow along and they can see me eat the hot dogs that they sponsored me to eat. It's a lot of hot dogs, so I don't want people to like go out and eat a ton of hot dogs. But you can think about how you can make that event your own, the same sort of challenge. Is there something you want to challenge people to do? Or people can challenge you to do and say, hey, for every, $100 in donations, I'll do, a number of push-ups or something like that. Or something, it could be something like that, just to see people push you outside your comfort zone. And again, this is after you do your initial ask, you start doing these challenges, these small events and things, and kind of like say, okay, it's a way to get people that already donated to you to kind of donate again. So and just think about how you can utilize that. And again, it doesn't have to be hot dogs, but just think about how you can make that your own. And if you have any questions, I'll leave my contact information with the LLS. They obviously have my contact information, and you can reach out to me, and I'd be happy to help you think about how to set something like that up. But that works really, really well. All right, so tip number 9 is to create a Facebook fundraiser. And the way you do this is in your LLS account. where you're in the back end of your Big Climb account, there is an option to link a Facebook fundraiser to your LLS account. And this is the way you want to create the account, the fundraiser, because this creates a separate fundraiser, like almost a mini fundraising page on your Facebook account, which then you can share on Instagram and, Twitter and things like that, whatever social media you're using. But this is an easy way to get donations because people, they're always scrolling Facebook. They don't have to leave Facebook to make the donation. It's actually, they can make the payment right there, and it's all linked to your LLS account, and the money will go direct to your LLS account. Now, just beware that this is different than the kind of, you see the Facebook birthday fundraisers where people raise money on their birthday. That money, if you create a fundraiser that way, yes, the money will go to the LLS, but it's likely not to be credited to your fundraising account for the Big Climb. So, again, if you have any questions about setting up a Facebook fundraiser within your Big Climb account, you can reach out to me and ask questions, or reach out to the LLS staff and they can help you connect that Facebook fundraiser. But you make sure you link it, you create the fundraiser through your LLS account and you link your Facebook page to it, because that's the only way you're going to get credit for the Big Climb funds. And Facebook fundraisers work. I mean, you can, like I said, it creates like a mini page on your Facebook page, and you can use that to update people, update donors, and then share that to your regular feed or to any groups or things like that you share, that you're connected with. And, get a great way to get your information out there, and your progress and your successes and your challenges. The Big Climb is a major undertaking, and it's a great event. And you just any way you get the word out there and raise money is what we're all about. So I'll be back real quick with tip number 10. Okay, tip number 10 is to make it fun. If you realize the first three letters in fundraising is FUN, which is fun, and people are more inclined to participate in and want to get involved in things that are fun, that are things that they can follow along, they can have a good laugh at, at your expense. Again, don't do anything illegal or immoral or anything like that. But, if somebody can watch me eat, 25 hot dogs in a day with all kinds of crazy toppings, that's fun to watch. I mean, it's interesting content. I may be sick at the end of the day, but that's my problem. I'm doing it for a good cause, so that I can deal with that for a day. One of the reasons why the LLS staff asked me to talk to you is a few years ago I decided to do like a big fundraiser, and I got I call it a dumb idea. It's a dumb idea to turn into a great idea. So I'm a big Disney fan. I mentioned before that I ran a Disney marathon as my first marathon. I've run every Disney marathon since 2011 in January. And, again, I'm a big fan of Disney World and, things like that. So I came up with the idea to do a ride challenge where I would go down to Disney World at my own expense, and I would ride a ride over and over and over again, as many times as I could. So I picked one of the most polarizing rides in Disney World, and it's called, you may have heard of it. It's a Small World ride. It's a slow boat ride with some animatronic dolls and a song that gets stuck in your head and plays over and over and over. And people either love it or they hate it. And I created what I called the Small World Challenge, and we went down in 2019 and rode Small World 21 times over and over in the course of a day. So we got there when the park opened, and we went straight to Small World, and we got on a ride, and we got off the ride, got right back in line. And did that over and over as many times as we could, and it ended up being 21 times that day. We ended up making national news. We were on Good Morning America, local news, the radio, television. It was just an awesome event, raised a ton of money. Again, I thought I would have been one of the only people that would do it. I knew I could I knew I could convince one or two other people to do it with me, but it ended up being 20 plus people from around the country that joined me. We all flew into Disney World, and we raised that first year $40,000 for the LLS. It was awesome. So, but again, it was something fun. It was something different. It was something that, people could follow along and get invested on. It could be polarized. They could say, I'll donate to you because I can't stand that ride. I went to Disney World and, I had to ride it over 2 times and it was the worst thing ever. Or somebody be like, oh my God, I love that ride. I would love to do that. That's so awesome. So yeah, so try to think of ways that you can make your fundraising fun and engage people in it. And you'll raise a lot more money and you'll raise a lot more awareness for the LLS, because that's the other thing, is not only raising funds, you're raising awareness and telling people why you're doing it and what the LLS is doing to help find a cure for blood cancer. So again, I hope these tips are helpful. I don't know how long this was. I'm breaking up into different segments as I'm edit together, but yeah, this has been, I'm glad I could talk to you. And, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Again, reach out to your staff. Staff, they're here to help us raise a lot of money for a great cause. So I hope to see everybody out there on May the 6th, and, get your steps in because there's going to be a lot of them. All right. Thanks, everybody.